750.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
You are not your resume, you are your work. That's from Seth Godin. We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week. Content and information, you won't want to miss a minute of it. It's a live show. This week, we're going to be sharing some tips about blogging. And this week, we'll be joined by guests Andy Nathan, Alderman Jason Irvin, and Michael Slater. And at the end of the show, I'm going to be sharing some tips on how to improve your business writing skills. That's right. It's a live show. You could call us with your questions at 312-642-5600. That number one more time, 312-642-5600. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solutions center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or call 630-928-0510. Once again, that phone number, 630-928-0510. You can also email them, simplify at tandemhr.com. Joined here in studio by a social media expert who's going to tell us what else you can find online and whether people can be finding you online. And that's why we're here joined in the AM 560, The Answer studio by Andy Nathan. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Shalom.
Of course. So, Andy, you are a self-described social media expert, blogging expert, and blogging, that's something that probably most of our listeners should be doing, right?
Absolutely. If you own a business or if you're looking for a job and you want to get exposure, it's definitely something that you should be doing to build up your exposure for your business.
So businesses, our listeners are in a number of different industries, maybe wear a number of different hats. But the theme, I guess, that I hear from a lot of people, the question that I always hear is, how much time should I be dedicating to social media and blogging and all of those things that sort of support and promote the business versus actually selling for my business, selling and performing services for my clients?
Absolutely. It does vary a little bit between industries, but on average, you should be spending about 15 to 30 minutes every day on your social media.
That's manageable.
Absolutely.
And we're taking your questions about blogging at 312-642-5600. Call in, and Andy might be able to answer some of your questions, 312-642-5600. So, Andy, how did you get started in this? Were you always a blogger? Were you always a social media guy?
Absolutely not. When I was in high school, I hated blogging and writing and everything else. I started blogging when I started my social media business because I needed a way to get started, and I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to write every single day on my blog for 1 year. It turned into 3 years, and by the time I was done, I had so much business, I was blogging for clients.
Wow. And there's a lot of different social networks that are available. You've, I believe, used all of them. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, perhaps even some that I might not even know about. What have you found that has worked really well and what has not worked?
Well, it's not what social network works. It's where are your clients or where are your targets hanging out. So if you're looking for a job, you want to be on LinkedIn. If you have a huge consumer base and you want to sell like your products, you're probably going to want to take a look at Facebook. It really depends upon who your target market is. It's not a social network, and I don't know if I've been on every single social network. That's probably a stretch, but I have been on a lot of them.
So as we got ready for the show just over the past few minutes, we took a picture, and that's available on your Twitter feed at Andy Nathan.
I put it on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Okay. So why Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook? Why did you not log into your LinkedIn account and upload that picture?
One, I didn't think about it, and and two, I don't do a lot on my phone for LinkedIn, but one, Instagram's really nice because when I post a photo on Instagram, it goes out to Facebook and Twitter. My Twitter is not linked up to Instagram right now, so I have to relog that in. So I had to do it separately. But normally when I post on Instagram, it will go out to Facebook and Twitter. So it's really nice to be able to do 3 for 1.
Well, it sounds like there's no one formula, there's no one recipe for everybody. That if you do this, you're going to get business. It sounds like you've found the right recipe for you.
Absolutely, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I wish there was a magic bullet. Unfortunately, I haven't found it, and I've been doing this about 6 years now. So.
Wow. So blogging. So let's get back to that. And again, we're taking your questions about blogging at 312-642-5600. But a lot of people have a website, and that website you could have logged onto it a year ago. You could probably log onto it in a year from now, and it doesn't change. Is that bad for business?
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, trying to express to you how bad that is. Google really looks at how often you update your blog, and they look at see how often you update your website. And if you don't update it on a regular basis, they won't check your website on a regular basis. So using a platform like WordPress or Joomla where you could update your content on a regular basis is so important. It's one of the reasons why I work with WordCamp Chicago, which is the annual conference here in Chicago, about WordPress, because you really do need something where you could automate it on a regular basis, and you can go in there and create regular weekly blog posts. It's not just, you shouldn't just be posting once a week or once a month. It should be regular, at least once a week or more.
And a post, should it be text? Should it be photos? What are the things to remember? I realize we might contradict ourselves over here. We just said you shouldn't. There's no one recipe, but I imagine that there are some basic tips that can help you get the social, the search engine optimization that you're looking for.
Well, let me give a few different answers for that. One, if you're doing text, you should be writing at least 500 to 1,000 words. Google actually has been shown they want 2,200 words to put you in first place for most keywords. That a keyword is the word that they use to find you for a specific search. However, if you're doing video, you should be going on YouTube, and then you could put it on your blog as well. So in that sense, like we were talking about, there is no one right recipe. Also, if you're doing photos, you could tag photos, and there's ways that they can be found, like Google image searches. Part of the reason why people find specific images is because they were tagged by the people who created the post. So you can do all three. Text has traditionally been the best way because it's the easiest one for Google to read. However, there are people who've been very successful doing photos and videos. And yeah.
So, Andy, let's take some advice. Just got an email from Joe, who's a plumber. Joe the plumber. We've heard that before. But Joe the plumber wants to know, he feels that he's in a boring business, and that there's nothing to post about. There's no blog posts, there's no photos, there's no videos. Nobody wants to see that stuff. Is Joe wrong?
I would definitely say Joe's wrong. First of all, if Joe's a plumber, I'm assuming that Joe probably deals with some weird stuff on a regular basis. I would be...
Probably some scary stuff, too.
Probably some scary stuff, but if he takes photos of that, I mean, don't obviously show houses because you don't want to, like, embarrass clients. But if you take photos, say, hey, look, I was looking at a property in Arlington Heights. Here's what's going on here. This is how you could fix it. He could start doing how-tos. He could start doing the grossest photo of the week. He could start going in and maybe even doing some videos of, here's how we fix things. If you need help, let us know. I mean, there's a lot of different options there. That's a very visual, and I would definitely go with more photo and video in that case. But, I mean, there's so much opportunity there. I help a lot of people who are in the construction business, and there's definitely some good stuff there. I understand, some people think, hey, it's boring. But there's a lot of interesting things about that business also that you could really get in there and start making people appreciate it.
Joe the plumber, if you're still listening, start blogging, start taking some pictures. We realize that you should only be, or you should be spending about 15, 30 minutes a day, preparing social media posts. But at the same time, you obviously are focused on your work, but take those pictures, post it up there online.
Also, for Joe, I would say one of your best things that you could do is have a smartphone, because you might be out on calls all day, but you probably have your smartphone with you because you're taking calls from clients and you're making sure that you're getting orders in. Use your phone for the social media and also for the blogging, because it will help you. That way you don't have to go home at night and then do it. You could do it a lot of times now from your mobile phone.
We're talking with Andy Nathan, who is a social media guru, a blogging expert. Lots of great advice shared with us today, and hopefully Joe the Plumber and many of our other listeners will take that advice and get their week started off with a bang, posting and blogging and all good things. Andy, how can people reach you if they have additional questions?
The best way to reach me is to go to my blog at andynathan.net. That's ANDYNATHAN, andynathan.net. And definitely there's a contact information form there. And you could also get a free copy of my book, 101 Online Resources. That's tools you could use for your business. And love to have you contact me and check me out on Twitter at Andy Nathan.
Okay, check out Andy's website, andynathan.net. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can find them at everettwealthsolutions.com or call 708-771-7777.